Hello, I wanted to take a few minutes today. This is Nick Sparrow, and go over how to improve place names in FamilySearch using your phone, which is an activity that is related to indexing and helps with indexing of records. And it's something that's super simple to do. It only takes less than 5 minutes or so once you get used to it. And so I'm going to go over that process here. So you're going to start by opening the Family Tree app. And then if you're on an Apple phone, I believe there is the three lines, which is up in the upper left of my screen. But I think on iPhone, it's in the bottom right of your screen. But you'll click on the three lines that give you the options. And you can see kind of in the middle, improve place name. So I'm going to click on that. And then it's going to tell you a little bit about improving the accuracy of place names and why and what you're doing here. Notice down at the bottom it says any location. So I would suggest selecting United States, which is going to be towards the bottom there. So what this does is it does not overwrite what the user put in, but it does try to standardize the way that it's entered so that it's easier to be searched. And FamilySearch tries to do this automatically, so the ones that you're going to see are the ones that they weren't able to do with their AI. And so what you're going to do once you choose United States, you're going to click on Review 10 Places, and it's going to take me to the first one. So it will show your relationship to this person, which is interesting, which is that blue line underneath the patient's name. You can also see at the right there a skip option if you feel like you're not confident in what you have to select from, then you can just skip it. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in that gray highlighted box. It says this is from 1900. It's a user entered place of residence. And a lot of these you'll see are going to be coming from census data. And a lot of times on the census records, they add extra stuff to the address because they're worried about like precinct for voting and things like that, which aren't actually location places. But when the person who indexed them indexed the record, they had to put everything that was there because that's part of the indexing process. So what we're going to do here is just kind of refine that. So you can see that this is saying Borough of Manhattan, Election District 7. So this is probably from a census type data. New York City, Ward 18, which is once again, I think, it's part of the election type data, and New York County, New York, United States. So what we're mostly interested in is the city, the county, and the state, and then of course the country. In this case, we already selected United States. So so we're looking at New York City, New York County, United States. New York State, United States. So if you look down below here, you'll also see some of the other places that are on this patient's record. We can see that they died in Manhattan, New York City, New York, United States. And you can see for the residents from 1910, Manhattan, New York City, New York, United States. So we're going to click on this blue box that says add a standard place. And it'll give us some suggestions. So we have Manhattan, New York City, New York, United States. And it says borough. So if you look at the bottom, there's the bottom of each entry, you've got a non-bolded entry that kind of says what level this is at. So since the one that was entered here says borough, and we've got a borough option that's Manhattan, New York City, New York. If you look at the second one, it says island, and the third one says major city. So major city is New York City, New York County, New York, United States. But where this was talking about the borough, and we do have a borough option, I'm going to go ahead and select that one, which is the top one. So I'll select that, and then I'm going to hit save, and it'll take me right to the next one. So at the very top, you can see that I'm on number 2 out of 10. So now I've got Zion Reformed Cemetery, Millersville, Lancaster, and this is a user-entered place of burial. So sometimes these can get a little bit more complicated than the census records, but Millersville, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Below For other life events, we only have one thing, which was birth in Pennsylvania. So there's not much to go on here, but let's go ahead and hit the blue box and let's see what we get. So we have a Millersville, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's a borough. We've got a Reformed Cemetery, Stone Church, Northampton, Pennsylvania. And these other ones are looks like cemeteries that are options, but there's Zion's Reformed Cemetery, Franklin, Iowa, but that is not even near Millersville, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So that's a conflict there. We wouldn't want to, even though it says Zion's Reformed Cemetery, we probably wouldn't want to click on that one. So unfortunately, none of these really seem to fit with Millersville. Now you could go to Google Maps and maybe see if, say, like the bottom one on my screen right now says Reformed Cemetery, Summit Township, Somerset, Pennsylvania. Now if that was really close to Millersville and it's called Reformed Cemetery, that's possible that that's it, and you'd want to verify that it's Zion's Reformed Cemetery, or Huntington, or some of these others might be near there. So I don't feel like I've got enough information on here to make an accurate selection, so I'm going to actually skip this one because I don't want to put a town. I want to put a cemetery, but none of these options are quite matching up, and I'd have to do some research, which normally I would probably jump over to Google Maps and take a look, but since I'm recording a video, I'm not going to. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this one, and it'll take me to the next one. Shipwreck at sea. Oh, this is place of death. This is interesting. So this person died at sea. Gay Head, Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. So this is actually not going to be an actual place. So we're going to have to maybe, this might be one that we skipped as well, just because it's not an actual place. Now remember that the user entered one, the one that's in the gray box, will not be deleted. And so if I select Martha's Vineyard, West Tisbury, Dukes, Massachusetts, United States, that's going to help standardize this, but it'll still leave that information that this person was shipwrecked at sea. I actually feel like maybe in this case, and this is just me personally, that it's probably better that it stay the way it is, just because it well, once again, it does leave that in there. So I'm going to choose Martha's Vineyard, but I do like the fact that it keeps that shipwreck at sea is going to still be in the record, because that's going to be important for place of death for this person. But to be able to kind of more closely figure out where the person died, I'm going to go ahead and choose this Martha Vineyard one and hit save. Anyway, that's all there is to it. You can see I'm on 4 out of 10. Of course, if I wasn't explaining this, I could go a little bit faster. So you're looking at 5, maybe 10 minutes to go through 10 of these. So while you're sitting waiting for an appointment, or maybe you've just got a couple minutes at lunch, something like that, this is something that you could do pretty quickly. It helps with the indexing of records, and it's super simple. So I encourage you to give it a shot, pull out your phone, and go for it. Thanks.